working to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Good evening, I'm Alma Angeles. You're watching Asean in Focus on today's program. And the latest developments from Taiwan, where the country has initiated a two-day missile live firing test in preparation for its largest annual military exercises. Taiwan is stepping up its defensive measures against an increasingly assertive China. And later, important insights from the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, or UNCTAD, regarding sustainable development and the challenges faced by less wealthy nations. President Marcos Jr. addressed the issue of onion smuggling, emphasizing the detrimental impact it has on the country's agricultural industry. The president vowed to take action against smugglers and hoarders, stating that their days are numbered. And later, we'll bring you an update on Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo. The team has confirmed that Antetokounmpo underwent surgery on his left knee, raising doubts about his participation in Greece's team for the FIBA World Cup in August. The FIBA World Cup, an eagerly anticipated tournament, will be held in the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia. And Giannis is an integral part of Greece's team. And we begin with the latest developments from Taiwan, where the country has initiated a two-day missile live firing test in preparation for its largest annual military exercises. Taiwan is stepping up its defensive measures against an increasingly assertive China, which poses a constant threat to the island's 23 million people. Taiwan's ongoing missile test involves the firing of U.S.-made TOW-2A anti-tank missiles in southern Pingtung County. The exercise aims to enhance the practicality of defense operations, as stated by Su Lang, the spokesperson for the Defense Ministry.
今天的操演里面，很多部分是特别结合实战的一个状况来执行操演的工作，目的就是为了来落实我们台风防卫作战。必须从实战的观点去出发来做训练，让我们的官兵在战时的时候能够真正具有信心，也有能力去实现这个保家卫国的一个责任。
Now, these missile firings take place amidst escalating tensions between Taipei and Beijing over the past year. China has conducted two major military exercises near Taiwan. In April, Beijing simulated targeted strikes on Taiwan and executed maneuvers to encircle the island. Chinese state media also reported dozens of planes participating in an aerial blockade exercise. These war games were a response to a meeting between President Tsai Ing-wen and U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in California. And the latest missile tests come against the backdrop of aerial and naval maneuvers by Beijing in and around the Taiwan Strait. Last month, 8 Chinese warplanes approached Taiwan's contiguous zone, which refers to the band of sea within 24 nautical miles of Taiwan's coast. Furthermore, in May, China's Shandong aircraft carrier made a rare voyage through the Taiwan Strait. And today, we shift our focus to the Middle East, where a brazen attack took place in Tel Aviv. A driver deliberately plowed his car into a crowd, and this incident is believed to be in response to an Israeli military operation in the occupied West Bank. Now, surveillance footage captured the shocking moment when a 20-year-old Palestinian rammed pedestrians with his car. Following the collision, he exited the vehicle and attempted to stab several people before being shot dead by an armed civilian. Palestinian militants saw this attack as a payback for Israeli actions.
Magen David Adom team responded to the scene of the terror attack, treated and evacuated 8 victims, of whom 1 in critical condition, 2 in moderate condition, and the rest with minor injuries and stress fast reaction and anxiety.
Behind me is the scene of a terror attack that just took place in Tel Aviv in a populated area where there's a lot of civilians. From what we understand right now, as this is an ongoing investigation, a terrorist arrived by vehicle and began ramming civilians. The terrorists managed to injure 7 civilians that are in various conditions. They've been transferred to 2 different hospitals, Belinson and Ichalov, and they're in different conditions. Now, the police are not going to stand for this type of terror. We're going to do everything possible to investigate every single detail to make sure we know anybody who was involved and to bring this case to justice. Police is on a continuous state of heightened alert. We have a national police force of the Israel Police and the border police who are out in large forces, making sure that our civilians, visitors, anybody who's here inside of Israel is safe.
Hamas, a Palestinian group, claimed responsibility for and praised this rare attack in Tel Aviv, which left 9 people injured. They referred to it as an initial response to an Israeli assault on the West Bank city of Jenin. Israeli forces recently launched their largest military operation in the West Bank in 2 decades, resulting in the deaths of at least 12 people and the displacement of thousands. In the midst of this escalating situation, Palestinian youth are fighting back using rocks, Molotov cocktails, and small arms. The city is now enveloped in smoke from burning fires with plumes of tear gas fired by Israeli forces. Israel's operation in Jenin is aimed at clearing a Palestinian refugee camp that Israeli officials claim poses a persistent military threat.
So last night we started a very focused counter-terrorism operation inside Jenin, mainly focused on the camp to dismantle infrastructure that was used by terrorists that have been leashing attacks on Israel for the last year. This has been a build-up.
We are striking the terrorism hub with a great strength. I want to emphasize that we don't have a fight with the Palestinians. Actually, our fight is with the proxies of Iran in our region, which is mainly with the Hamas and the Islamic Jihad.
إن الذي يجري هو محاولة جديدة لإزالة المخيم عن الوجود وتهجير أهله. إن جنين البطلة ومخيمها العنيد الصامد عصية على الاحتلال وغزواته مثلها مثل بقية مدننا وقرانا ومخيماتنا.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu considers this massive 2-day raid a success.
אם ג'נין תחזור לטרור, אנחנו נחזור לג'נין. וזה יקרה הרבה יותר מהר ובעוצמה הרבה יותר גדולה ממה שחושבים. מי שלא מבין את זה היום, יבין את זה מהר מאוד.
And first, we dive into the battle of the billionaires as Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg exchange challenges and their respective companies enter the ring. While the physical face-off between Musk and Zuckerberg is yet to happen, the source of their dispute takes a new turn as Zuckerberg's company Meta enters the competition against Twitter with its new app called Thread. Now, Thread, a direct competitor to Twitter, has already made its appearance in the Apple App Store, allowing users to download it as of Thursday. The app seems to emphasize public conversation, much like Twitter, and intriguingly, it suggests that users will have the option to log in using their Instagram accounts. Now, considering that Instagram boasts a staggering 2 billion users worldwide compared to Twitter's 300 million, the launch of Thread is causing quite a buzz on social media.
Has officially launched Threads. It's finally here and you can download it now. So far, I'm really liking this app a lot more than the Bird app.
Now, this development comes at a time of seismic changes within Twitter. Since Elon Musk acquired the platform last year, he has made significant alterations, including changes to the verification process with the introduction of an $8 fee for blue check marks. Musk has also overhauled the tweet display algorithm, determining what users see in their feeds, and recently implemented limits on the number of tweets users can read per day. Now, these controversial moves by Musk have prompted prompted a wave of user and advertiser exodus from Twitter, creating an opportunity for new challengers to emerge. Several alternatives have emerged in the wake of Twitter's changes, such as Blue Sky and Mastodon, as well as the new social media platform called Spill, which aims to cater to diverse communities and ranked number 4 in the free App Store on Tuesday. However, despite these new contenders, user numbers on these platforms remain relatively low. Now, Meta's entry comes with its own obstacles, including scrutiny from European regulators due to potential data transfer issues between Thread and Instagram. Now, Meta previously faced scrutiny for breaching this rule after its acquisition of the messaging app WhatsApp. And important insights from the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, or UNCTAD, regarding sustainable development and the challenges faced by less wealthy nations. According to UNCTAD Secretary General Rebecca Greenspan, a lack of investment is hindering sustainable development in these countries. Take a look.
What are the sectors on SDG investment that have really showed a strong performance? Notably, renewable energy. But we know that it's going to the developed countries and to the emerging economies. The rest of the countries are not really showing that performance. Developing countries face an investment gap of $2.2 trillion annually for the energy transition. This is more or less half of the funding gap for the Sustainable Development Goals. We have talked about a $4 trillion gap in investments for the Sustainable Development Goals.
The UNCTAD Secretary General also stressed the importance of 2 key elements. Let's listen in.
The Black Sea Initiative for the exports of grain from Ukraine to global markets, and the MOU with the Russian Federation is signed between the Russian Federation and the UN to foster the unimpeded exports of food and fertilizers from the Russian Federation also to global markets. And we need both to continue bringing prices down and have stable markets of food and fertilizers in the world.
UNCTAD called for the implementation of policies and financing mechanisms to attract investment to developing countries.
If we combine international multilateral development banks, government and private sector, that can reduce the spread on borrowing cost for energy investment projects by up to 40%.
The Secretary General underscored the significant role of investment in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, emphasizing the importance of collective action and global solidarity for their success. Now, the Philippine government expressed optimism regarding the challenges posed by the El Niño phenomenon to the poultry, livestock, and aquaculture industries. President Marcos Jr. shared his confidence during an interview at the Livestock Philippine Expo 2023 in Manila.
We have to adjust to it in the sense that we must resign ourselves to the fact that that is the new normal. Ganyan talaga magiging mga challenges na haharapin natin. So we continue to improve the infrastructure. We continue to improve the systems. The problem with the water, I think, is solvable when it comes to in terms of the livestock. Ang mahirapan sa crops, sa fisheries hindi gano, as you can imagine. So I think I'm confident that when it comes to livestock and the broilers, the hogs, and the cattle, if we continue to be able to fix the systems, and now, of course, ang pinakamalaking issue ay yung ASF pa rin at saka yung avian influenza.
He highlighted the ongoing efforts to address the African swine fever and avian influenza outbreaks, stating that progress is being made in controlling these diseases. The president emphasized the importance of developing systems and utilizing vaccines to combat these industry-related diseases.
So dahan-dahan mukhang nakokontrol naman natin at nakikita natin magandang supply dito sa atin ngayon. Hindi naman masyadong magalaw yung presyo, medyo stable. So that's why I think that as long as we continue to do this and develop more and take advantage of all these new vaccines that are coming, that are being rolled out, I think kakayanin natin i-sustain, hindi lamang i-sustain ito, pero pagandahin pa natin, palakihin pa natin, make it more efficient, make it more streamlined.
Now, President Marcos also discussed the implementation of the Integrated National Swine Production Initiatives for Recovery and Expansion, or INSPIRE program, benefiting over 430 farmers, cooperatives, and associations. Furthermore, he announced the completion of Phase 1 of safety and efficacy trials for ASF vaccines, along with the ongoing Phase 2 trials. Progress is also being made in the procurement of avian influenza vaccines, according to the president.
We also acknowledge the urgent need to revitalize the sector considering the problems that we face, particularly the effects of African swine fever and avian influenza. We are also happy to announce the completion of Phase 1 of the safety and efficacy trials for the ASF vaccines. The Bureau of Animal Industry has found to produce sufficient antibodies and to be safe for use. This gives us great hope, as we have been waiting for this for a very long time.
Now, President Marcos also addressed the issue of onion smuggling, emphasizing the detrimental impact it has on the country's agricultural industry.
Ang utos ko sa DOJ at sa NBI, sa kanila, ay kailangan malaman ninyo na hindi lamang sa sibuyas, kung hindi pa sa mga sindikato, marami talagang sindikato na nag-cooperate pa para habulin na natin, matigil yung kanilang ginagawa. At ang sa aking pananaw, at sa palagay ko, yung mga abogado natin, sasangayo naman siguro sa akin, sa aking pananaw, yung kanilang ginagawa amounts to economic sabotage.
The president vowed to take action against smugglers and hoarders, stating that their days are numbered.
Tama na yan at titigilin na natin yung kanilang masasayang ginagawa dati.
Now, President Marcos Jr. also clarified that he did not set a specific deadline for the Department of Justice and the National Bureau of investigation. However, he emphasized the importance of a thorough and well-established finding.
Una, hindi ako mahilig magbigay ng deadline. Siyempre, gusto ko tapusin nila kaagad. Pero kailangan tapos, hindi hilaw. Kailangan, so let them do their investigation. Wala naman particular ang pinag-usapan, ang naging pagbasihan, yung naging problema sa na maliwanag na nag-hoarding, na kinokontrol ang supply ng sibuyas.
And now we bring you the latest diplomatic developments in the Asia-Pacific region. Indonesian President Joko Widodo arrived in Port Moresby for a one-day visit where he met his Papua New Guinea counterpart, James Marape. Now, this meeting highlights the growing competition among major powers for influence in this strategically important region. During their discussions, the leaders focused on important matters, including a border agreement and trade relations between their respective nations. President Widodo's visit follows the recent visits of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who both convened meetings with Pacific Island leaders in Port Moresby back in May. Eko Ortelesa is at the scene.
Indonesian President Joko Widodo was welcomed by Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape at the Jackson International Airport. Widodo attends the first business forum between Indonesia and Papua New Guinea at the APEC House. The bilateral meeting tackles Papua New Guinea border agreements, trade and investment, implementation of visa exemption for diplomatic and official passport holders, West Papua issue, and fishing rights.
One of the warmest, if not the warmest, bilateral conversation engagements we've had. I want our business community to rise up and pick on this connectivity we are making. And the connectivity will move not just in government to government and conversation like this, but actual infrastructure connectivity is programmed to open up. To complement air transport connectivity, we'll have land transport connectivity. We'll have public utility connectivities. These engagements have been, this conversation has been now moved beyond just conversation into actual realization of this vision between our both nations. God bless continually the people of the Republic of Indonesia and people of Papua New Guinea.
A business forum and media conference attended by dignitaries and diplomatic corps followed next. It highlights the reinforcement to make more tangible trade, commerce, and investment opportunities. Both countries agreed to support the establishment of Indonesia and Papua New Guinea business agendas that will form an entity moving upward and running continuously.
I will continue to push for discussion on the Indonesia and PNG preferential trade agreement so that our economic cooperation can continue to grow. Infrastructure and connectivity are the main requirement for sustainable economic growth, and Indonesia stand ready to support PNG for the Connect PNG program through Indonesia state-owned companies. PNG Express dan penerbangan Citylink Denpasar Port Moresby serta ratifikasi Basic Agreement on Border.
Widodo commits 55 million kina for Port Moresby General Hospital's intensive care unit and for the mortuary. Indonesia's Citylink flights between Port Moresby and Denpasar have been launched too. Widodo and his delegates departed Papua New Guinea right after this one-day state visit. Eco Hortaleza Quinola, Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
The European Union has allocated 50,000 euros to assist families affected by Mayon volcano's increased activity. Now, the funding coursed through the Philippine Red Cross will benefit over 7,500 people in Albay. It'll provide emergency shelter items, healthcare assistance, hygiene kits, and improve access to clean water and sanitation facilities. Mayon volcano is currently under Alert Level 3. And now we bring you the latest update on global temperatures. Tuesday marked a significant milestone as it became the hottest day ever recorded, breaking the previous day's record according to preliminary readings by U.S. meteorologists published today. Now, the world's average temperature on Tuesday reached 17.18 degrees Celsius, surpassing the previous record set just one day prior. Now, this is the hottest day ever recorded, and it highlights the alarming impact of climate change fueled by the burning of fossil fuels. While this reported record is yet to be corroborated by other measurements, it is anticipated that it may be surpassed again as the Northern Hemisphere's summer season unfolds. The EU Climate Monitoring Unit, Copernicus, confirmed that Monday had indeed seen the hottest day based on their data set dating back to 1940, but they are still working to verify the data for Tuesday. Scientists are warning that these record-breaking temperatures are a sign of things to come as the planet continues to warm. They're calling on governments to take urgent action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. And today we take a look inside the vaults of Disney as the entertainment empire celebrated its centennial. After a century of creating magic, Disney opens its doors to the public, allowing a glimpse into the archives that hold treasures like Walt Disney's personal office, Mickey Mouse's first diary, and the very first theme park ticket. Speaking about the voice of Mickey Mouse, Brett Ewan, the English voice actor for Mickey, explains that Mickey's voice is a middle falsetto, neither too high nor too low, and he highlights that the heart and personality behind the voice, along with the acting, are vital in portraying Mickey's character.
It's a middle falsetto. It's not up here. It's not down here. It's right in the middle. So I think, that's definitely a part of it, but more importantly is the acting behind it, and with that is being informed by Mickey's personality and his characteristics. Of course, there's amazing technology being developed with AI, and it's so impressive, but I don't think anything can replace the heart of a character, and more importantly, the heart of storytelling. And I think that's what's unique to a performer, a writer, an animator, an artist, a creator. And so, I have to believe that heart is what's gonna, hold out and keep real people doing the job for a while.
Meanwhile, Becky Klein, the director of the Walt Disney Archive, shares insights into the establishment of the archives in the 1970s.
Walt had passed in 1966, and we were starting to lose the institutional knowledge of the company. With Walt's passing, we had Albay Works was retiring. Roy himself was trying to retire. So at that point in 1970, Roy decided that it would be a good idea to start an archive to keep all of this. He would be very interested in things like, the volume of seeing, the way we're doing The Mandalorian and this really cutting edge technology, the way we're doing, animatronic figures at our parks. Audio animatronics was something he developed, but I think he'd be fascinated by the newer versions of it.
Eric Goldberg, the Disney animator, further discusses the impact of AI on hand-drawn animation.
I think AI has less of a chance of affecting hand-drawn animation than it does computer animation, because AI is about kind of replicating realism. Hand-drawn kind of gives us a little bit of an advantage that way, because we have to use our imaginations so much to represent hand-drawn characters because of the flexibility of what they can do, that I don't think AI is going to be a problem to that side of the medium.
The archives contain hundreds of millions of items, from princess costumes and character sketches to century-old toys, photos, and documents. As Disney opens its archives to commemorate its centennial, visitors can witness the remarkable journey and innovations that have shaped the company's legacy. From the early beginnings to the cutting-edge technologies of today, Disney continues to captivate audiences worldwide through its timeless stories and beloved characters. And now we bring you an update on Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo. The team has confirmed that Giannis underwent surgery on his left knee, raising doubts about his participation in Greece's team for the FIBA World Cup in August. Now, according to Bucks head coach Adrian Griffin, the surgery was a routine procedure on Antetokounmpo's left knee, and it went smoothly.
Well, yes, he had a routine surgery on his left knee, and it went great. Everything went as planned, and we expect him back ready to go in training camp.
The Bucks are scheduled to begin their training camp in early to mid-September, while the FIBA World Cup is set to start on August 25 and run until September 10. However, there are concerns about Giannis's availability for Greece's team. The Athletic reported that his participation in question due to surgery to address loose cartilage in his left knee, as per a league source. The FIBA World Cup, an eagerly anticipated tournament, will be held in the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia. Giannis is an integral part of Greece's team. Losing him would be a significant blow to their hopes in the tournament. Greece has been drawn in Group C alongside the United States, New Zealand, and Jordan, making their path to success even more challenging. Giannis, who was the top scorer in last year's Eurobasket tournament with an impressive average of 29.3 points, will be sorely missed if he is unable to participate fully. However, despite his individual success, his team was eliminated in the round of 16 by the Czech Republic. Antetokounmpo previously represented Greece in the 2019 World Cup, but the team failed to advance beyond the group stage. Older brother and fellow Bucks teammate Thanasis is also part of the Greece squad. Furthermore, their younger brother Kostas, who plays for Greek club Panathinaikos, adds to the family presence within the team. As my usual habit, I'd like to end the day on a positive note. Let's encourage and build each other up so that no one is left behind. And that's it for tonight's broadcast. I'm Alma Angela. Stay in the news because we live in extraordinary times. Good night.